Hello everyone, welcome to United Chokros. This is Prashant Sharma and with me is DV and we are here to talk about our favorite club, Man United. And we'll start off with the match at the weekend. So, DV, firstly, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm great. Transfer window closing in a week's time, and didn't watch a great game at the weekend. So was disappointed with that result. Especially after the 5-1 thrashing of Leeds, and then took go to St. Mary's and produce that kind of result was pretty disappointing. But yes, a week to go in transfer window. Hope things move quicker, and we do end up making one more signing. So let's hope. Yeah.
Okay. So let's just start off with the discussion about the match against Southampton. This was a venue where last in the past two seasons we have had kind of difficult results. We have had difficult matches for sure. It's just that we were fortunate last year that we had a last minute winner with Cavani and we kind of missed him. Uh, don't you think we maybe if someone like a Cavani would have been there, maybe the results would have been different? Or do you think that
Hmm.
it is again down to a proper CDM, a central defensive midfielder?
Yeah, I mean that is the number one priority, for Man United this season. Buying a midfielder is very important, and we all saw that. Fred couldn't pass. The amount of time he lost the ball, doesn't have control at ball on the ball at times. So he looked completely out of his best, and I don't think he is a Man United player. No, don't get me wrong. I don't hate him or I don't think he is good enough. But it's just that he doesn't fit the bill and the kind of player Man United needs. I don't even know what kind of player Fred is, whether he's a number eight or a defensive midfielder, a box to box midfielder, because Oli has played him in different positions, and I think he only plays well if he plays along with McTominay. And the other day he played with Matic, who himself had a really difficult game, compared to the prime Matic. So yes, talking about striker, yes, we always miss Cavani because he's the kind of player who gets in the box, and Marshall didn't have the kind of game he should have had. But then I guess for me, the priority is midfield. That's where the battles are won. That's where the games are won. That's where the titles are won. And I thought we badly missed a defensive midfielder. And then the most disappointing thing towards the end was we have Donny van de Beek on the bench, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer turned to Lingard. So yeah, there goes our story. We have quality on the bench, but we still want to use the deadwood. No, I'm not saying Lingard is the deadwood, but Lingard needs to go. I mean, he needs to find a club where he can get game time and have some more minutes to have a chance at World Cup. At Man United, he's down the pecking order. Bruno Fernandes is number 10, and that's where he plays. Lingard as well. So I don't think he is going to get a preference over Fernandes. So for his betterment and for Man United's future, I mean betterment, Lingard needs to leave. Now I'm not sure what's going on with West Ham thing because West Ham have the money because I saw just today that they signed Kurt Zuma for 30 million. So it does not. I mean, of course there will be a huge wage difference between Lingard and Zuma, but I think this should have been done a long time back, and keeping Lingard will be a big mistake. And yeah, so I think lots of improvement required, but the most important thing is the midfield has to be much better. Someone needs to shield the defense. There has to be one player. You do not cannot play two players in that position.
Okay, yeah, well, I agree with you on that. I think the midfield lacks steel. It's nothing new for us. It's been like the past few seasons. It kind of, it is a strategy which just works. So Fred, as a player, I like him. I've seen him perform well for Shakhtar. Even for Brazil, he had a really good Copa America. So he's not a bad player. I just think that a hardcore CDM position is not for him. Uh, last week against Leeds, he was allowed to go in a more advanced
Forward, yeah,
position, and he
yeah.
and he was able to score. He played well. So that I think him and Van de Beek are kind of similar in that sense because I don't think even Van de Beek is a proper. He's not a hardcore central defensive midfielder. He's more of a box to box or that kind of a player. He's not going to just stay back and block the attacks and do the things that Kante does and or even Matic at his prime used to do. So that is what we need, and neither of these players, even McTominay, I don't think is going to fit the bill, and we will. unfortunately continue to play two players for one. Let's see if the Varane thing comes up, and if it does work out that once Varane is there, maybe we don't need to play two CDMs. So that's something that I'm hoping for the next week. And yeah, so moving on. Speaking of CDMs, what do you think about the transfer window? Uh, and as expected, I mean, do you feel familiar now? Are you now feeling nostalgic, maybe? Because this is now feeling like any other transfer window.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, I thought it would have been a great transfer window. I would have given, out of 10, if you ask me, I would have given 8. But now, if you look at the whole picture, Sancho, we bought 73 million. That was supposed to happen last season, that was last
Yeah,
season's money. So we were supposed to get him for 90 million. We got him for 73 million. 17 million, we got him less. So then we got Varane for 34 million. So ideally, we have only spent 17 million in this transfer window's budget, and we haven't even sold one player. Now people were talking about new Tom Madness and genius of Darren Fletcher. I don't agree with that. A job of a director of football is not just to buy players, but to take the players off the wage bill, sell players, find a club for them. That they haven't been able to do. And coming back to the CDM thing, the most important thing for United this season was to get a CDM. I said it from the beginning itself, important thing apart from buying centre back, CDM is the second most important position that United will look into. Sancho, yes, it's more of a luxury because we have wingers. It's not that it was a priority, it's more of a luxury. But yes, he's a brilliant player. If available, you have to get it. But then I thought they should have prioritized a center defensive midfielder because we lacked in that position. We do not have an out and out defensive midfielder. Oh well, we do have in the Nemanja Matic, but it's past his prime. And you saw the
yeah.
other day at Southampton what happened. So I feel that is one position that United need to strengthen. If we carry this transfer position into the next window, we won't be able to focus on getting out and out prime supreme number nine. Our focus next season is to get a supreme number nine and maybe a right back cover for Aaron Wan-Bissaka or maybe some other positions which need to improve. But if we take this position transfer into the next window, it's going to make things difficult for us, and we will only end up getting a top four. If you want to challenge for titles, this has to be the center defensive midfielder has to come into the squad. Then we may be thinking of challenging for title. Still, long way to go because Man City and Chelsea have brilliant squad depth, which we don't have. So yes, getting a CDM would increase the chance of title challenge. But if we don't, end up getting a CDM, I think it'll just be a top four finish for us, and our board will be happy, and some of our fans will also be happy as long as we qualify for the Champions League. I mean, I am hearing willing to Saul, Neves, and Kamavinga, but I'm not sure whether any of these things will happen. What do you think? Your experience of seeing United in the past. Do you think we will end up signing any one midfielder? I have a strong feeling that we will end up with just two players, Sancho and Varane.
Yeah, it is looking more and more like that. I don't think, first and foremost, if we do get Saul Niguez, I don't think that will work out for us. As in, I'm not
Hmm.
saying he's a bad player. He might even be a great player for us, but he's not the kind of player we need. As I said, he will be in the Fred or Van the Beek bracket. He would not be the hardcore CDM, but it
Hmm.
might still work for us. As like for example, when we replaced Roy Keane, we replaced him with Carrick, and they were different types of players,
Yeah.
they both work. So
Saul
maybe
Niguez, to be honest, has improved his defensive ability in the past 2 or 3
yeah.
seasons, but
So
he's not a starter for Madrid now, Atletico Madrid.
yeah, exactly. So if we get him, well and good. Ruben Neves is someone we both admire, and he does have some defensive capabilities comparatively, and he also has the threat going forward. He has scored some decent goals, so that is my first preference. And then there's Ruben Neves. There's this talk of Eduardo Camavinga, which doesn't go away, but I don't really think that's going to materialize in any way. I I have a strong feeling that none of these
Yeah,
three are gonna come through.
yeah,
We'll just end up
yeah,
talking about rumors like we always do. In fact, we are already starting to talk about rumors for the next season uh,
yeah.
right
Oh,
now. So yeah, that
I saw that
Erling
today,
Haaland
and
is
it
that
annoyed
we
me
are
so
in fourth
much.
position to sign Erling Haaland. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, okay, we might even just end up getting him because of the Sancho factor, but I don't think that we are in the pole position to get him. If we do get him next season as well, we'll
And
have to
why are we
shed out
even
the for
why
him.
why are fans even talking about the Erling Haaland situation? That's for next season. This transfer window hasn't even
Yeah,
completed. Why do you want to talk about what's going to happen next season? There's 10 months between the next transfer window. I'm sorry, I'm not talking the January one. The next summer transfer window and today is going to be the 10 to 11 months. So there's going to be 50 matches played. There are going to be players injured. There's going to be players suspended. Players wanting to leave. So are you talking about the next window right now? A window is about to get finished. You need to buy a midfielder, and I fans get into this PR spin. Man United have a brilliant PR person, representative, or a team, public relations team. They know how to
publicly.
spin the thing in social media, and how to make fans believe. This Haaland thing has excited a lot of people. I just think this is a PR stunt, and they want to get off the this thing that they're not going to sign a midfielder. They don't want to get fans upset, and
Yeah,
that's why they are doing this PR thing. That's what I feel. And I'm sure what you spoke about, the next window and all, it's all the same thing. And that's my belief.
yeah. I think we'll be talking about him this window, and when the next window comes, Chelsea will end up signing him. Because they have actually tried for him, right? So something like that might happen. Okay,
Chelsea,
moving
I think,
on.
is difficult. Mhm.
Sorry. Yeah,
The
continue.
Chelsea is difficult because Lukaku they've already signed. So I think there are clubs, like Madrid and
Man
Barcelona
City.
and even Man City. Man City, if they don't sign Kane, they might go for Holland. I don't think Man United will end up signing Holland. I know Solskjaer is obsessed with him, but I seriously don't think he will come to United.
Yeah, I don't think he will come to United either. I mean, there's more likelihood of PSG signing him as a
Mhm.
replacement for Mbappe than there is of United actually signing him. So yeah, there's that. And so speaking of PSG, uh, uh, we all know what's been happening here. I just come to the main point. Like there's this a whole thing that's happening. Mbappe is about to leave. He's looking to leave PSG. He's going to Madrid, and that's where our old man or our favorite, our United favorite, our legend Ronaldo comes into the picture. So there is this story that Mbappe will be leaving Madrid, leaving PSG for Madrid, for Real Madrid, and once he goes there, PSG will replace him to sign him to sign up. I mean, to they'll be signing Ronaldo to replace him, and so we'll have a dream team of Ronaldo and Messi at PSG, which is fine. I mean, we can all look forward to a dream team like that because that's something which we've all done. Let's admit we've all done it on our FIFA, so or fantasy football. So that's something which we can look forward to even at the ages that they have, like 34 and 37 respectively for Messi and Ronaldo. So sorry, 34 and 36. So but the concerning factor here is what I'm about to ask you is that there are also a lot of rumors linking him to Manchester City. Uh, why do you think it is plausible, and why do you think is it not plausible? Divya?
In today's world, everything is possible, Prashant. And I know he said that in the past. If he wanted money, he could go to a Qatar-based club. He will not do that. But in today's football, anything can happen. And apparently, it's from a very reliable source. Like Jorge Mendes, Ronaldo's agent, has been speaking to Man City. Now, from what I've read and heard, Man City are not interested in paying that transfer fee for Ronaldo. If he's coming on as a free agent, they might consider him, but they will keep that option as a last because Ronaldo comes with a wage, 32 million net after tax a year, 32 million euros a year net after tax. So not sure Man City would be able to manage that kind of wage. If they want, they can because they have that money. But I
yeah,
think their preference is Harry Kane, and I still think that, even though Harry Kane has come out and said, that he will stay at Tottenham, I still think that, anything can happen. Tottenham, if Man City go in with a bid of like 150 million plus Gabriel Jesus, they might end up accepting it. So you never know. We've seen crazy things happen in the transfer window towards the end. So let's see. But I honestly don't think Ronaldo to Man City will happen. That is. Yeah, and if that happens, oh God, it'll set the internet on fire, and
yeah,
Man United fans will be fuming. I will be fuming. I'll be
yeah.
disappointed. He's made himself a legend here at Old Trafford, and to do that is something almost criminal. So
It's almost
to be
criminal.
honest, I
Yeah.
don't think it'll happen. But like I said, in today's world,
I
anything
think
is possible.
my feeling is that he is just doing it out of desperation simply because he wants to get out of Juventus so badly.
Hmm.
Now, uh, the, the, I'll tell you why it can happen and why it won't. So first, let me start with why it can happen. Even though, as you mentioned, his wages and everything, those are a big deal. But then, he is a brand name in himself, Ronaldo. So getting him would be a coup, even for a Man City, because it will help them expand their profile, and obviously because of the rivalry they have with PSG, right? The rivalry in the Gulf. Qatar owns PSG, and Abu Dhabi UAE, they own Man City. So they always also have this kind of a thing that if to just always one up each other. So in those terms, they might even consider, okay, yeah, they'll sign Messi. We should just sign up Ronaldo. That's one thing that they can do. But in purely technical terms, uh, I don't think Ronaldo will suit Pep's style. I mean, they just let off Sergio Aguero. Uh, he was 34 and he was also scoring for fun, although he was injury ravaged last season. But then he was also a good player. So they let him go, and after that, after letting him go, if they sign Ronaldo, who is 2 years older, doesn't make sense. So I don't think that. I mean, that is where I think the transfer would fail. My own hope, and I think majority of the fans would hope, and I say that this with I mean with a lot of optimism that he does actually end up leaving Juventus, but he goes to PSG. That is just something that we want to watch, and because of the age that they are both at, I think it would be perfect to see them because at this point they are both Ronaldo and Messi can they can still just manage to play at PSG. They can do it right now, maybe after one or even after one season. When Ronaldo is a free agent, it may not be the same. So that's one thing. And the other part is, of course, PSG being owned by Qatar. They've already got Messi, and if they get Ronaldo, that would be a kind of a good PR coup for them as well. So that's one part of it. So yeah, that's that.
You
Um
said that you said that you would be happy to see Ronaldo leave Juventus, and you said something about optimism. Why wouldn't you be optimistic that Ronaldo ends up being at Man United? I mean, I'm
ah,
just saying.
yeah, why not? Why not?
It's
Why
a
not Man
it's
United?
a far off dream.
It's a far off
And to
thing,
be
but
honest, I don't think it's practically possible. And if it was, we would have been linked to him by now. But I don't see. I'm just saying, like, if he's available for 25 million, why not? One of the best players in the
yeah,
world. You are
yeah,
straight
but
entering into the title challenge if you're buying him.
yeah, well, what will happen is that will just give our board another excuse to not sign a CDM. So
Yeah.
I just don't have that optimism with United anymore. So yeah, I mean I wouldn't mind him coming back, but I don't think it's financially possible for our club. Uh, PSG is simply because of the, as I said, the fantasy football factor, the pull of seeing Messi, Neymar, and Ronaldo in the same team. That is something which I do want
Mm-hmm.
quite sincerely. So that is something that I would want. Moving on to the next topic. Uh, Speaking of someone who is at United, Donny van de Beek. Uh, his agent has said that he has come out and said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself clarified to him that he will be getting minutes this season. But we have seen two games so far. We are two games into the season. We have not really seen him play. We have only seen him play in friendlies, and he's being used more like what a Pereira was. Someone like an Andreas Pereira was. So, what do you think? You think we'll be seeing more of him this season, or what's happening? Maybe once Varane is in, we have a good central defensive partnership, and maybe then that would open up the space for Van der Beek and Pogba to play together. What do you think the possibilities are?
I mean, you spoke about opportunities like Pereira. I thought, before Fernandez came, Pereira got a lot of opportunities. He got a lot of opportunities. Donny van de Beek hasn't even got half of them. And and
Yeah.
it's very sad to see a player of his caliber, not get the opportunities. I understand if he's played few games, he's not been up to the mark, and then he's been dropped to the bench. That's just completely fine. Because you judge in your performance, and if you get the opportunity, don't perform, manager has the right to put you on the bench. But you bought him a year ago and haven't had started him less than 10 games in a season, and then again you go into the season, he's all hyped up and he wants to play games, and then again he lacks game time. He loses confidence. He was dropped. He couldn't make it to the Euros. I thought he was injured, but I even if he would have made it to Euros, he wouldn't have played in the starting 11. The guy's lost confidence. The kind of player he was at Ajax, the way they used to rate him. I watched him at Ajax. I used to watch Ajax in Champions League, and the way he used to play, it's like more of the kind of football Man United need to play. That kind of football he and Ajax used to play. Moving the ball quicker, not getting extra touches. That's how you have to play football, because when you move the ball quickly, it becomes very difficult for opposition to defend. And that's the kind of football Donny van de Beek and Ajax used to play. So he comes from that kind of background, and then coming into United, not getting opportunities. You know, coaches, and they think that he's not physically suited for Premier League. If you thought he was not suited for Premier League, why did you waste 40 million? He could have gone somewhere else and had a better future. Forget everything. If you still think he's not good enough, why don't you sell him? I thought I heard Juventus were wanted him. They had offered some money for him, or swap deals for him, but United rejected that offer. So if you're not going to let him play, why are you rotting him on the bench? And from what I hear, what I heard today is his agent came out and said the manager has given us the assurances that Van der Beek will get game time in the midfield. So they are confident about it. They don't want to happen to happen what happened last season to him. But to be honest, I don't see manager giving him that many opportunities, because if he would have at least got him a substitute. He hasn't started or got minutes in any of those two games. Forget Southampton. He could have come off against Leeds. We were leading 5-1. What's wrong in giving him 10, 15 minutes? So I still have serious doubts on Solskjaer and his coaching staff that they will play Van de Beek. It's a talent wasted on the bench. I'm not sure what are your thoughts on this, but I would definitely like to know, your thoughts on a player with such a wonderful caliber and potential.
Yeah.
I am also very concerned about him because, yeah, he's a great player, as you said, and he has lost his confidence, and so much so that he was suspended from the and that can be quite damaging. You can see that how a lot of players who have had a good Euros and they are coming back and they are doing well for their clubs as well. So that is something which could have helped him. I just hope that as the season goes on and as we play in more and more competitions, he does actually end up getting an opportunity. That's all I can say. We can't really predict anything. I don't think that either him or Ole are the kind of people who actually get into a conflict. Like what happened with
Yeah,
Luke Shaw earlier, uh, that was something which was more understandable. But I don't think that is the case here. But I'm just puzzled as to why he has not been played. That's all. So we'll just have to wait and watch what happens on that particular front. Um,
Of the Speaking of Van de Beek, as we were talking, you think he'll get a start against Everton this weekend? And what do you think of the match against Everton, which will be?
I think it's
which
Wolves,
will
right? Wolves or Everton?
uh,
It's Wolves, right?
apologies. Yeah, it's Wolves. My apologies. Yeah. So it's against Wolves that will be facing.
Yeah. Very
So
difficult, very difficult to say he will start. I don't think, Van de Beek will start. I think he'll go back with his favorite two pets, Fred and McTominay. I hate to say this word but it's very annoying. It's very irritating, to see Scott McTominay and Fred play again, two defensive midfielders again doing a job of one play. I mean, they're not even defensive midfielders. Right? I don't even know what kind of midfielders they
yeah,
are.
makeshift midfielders. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, an irony. The other day I called McDonald's. I'm so obsessed with this McFred word. I literally said, "Can I have one McFred?" And then I realized it's actually a term which has been made a Man United fan. So I don't mean to diss them or say bad things about them, but they both can't start. You've got players like Van de Beek on the bench. You've got Nemanja Matic. Okay, Matic didn't have a good game against Southampton, but he can do a better job than those two. Again, you cannot Scott McTominay. I think he can become a player like Darren Fletcher. I'm saying I'm giving. I have a huge regard for Darren Fletcher. I was a big fan, but and McTominay is not even close to him. But I think he can become someone like him. Fred, I'm not sure, whether he should start because he's been very disappointing. The first part of the last season, he was pretty decent, okay, but then second half he became very poor. His passing was atrocious. Couldn't defend properly, and so many errors committed. He's doing that again this season. So I'm not sure, whether it's the right thing to start these two people. But then again, I think he will be protective of his defense and. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to be brave if he wants to win the title. If he's brave enough, he will go and start Varane and Sancho. But I don't think he will do that. But that's what he's supposed to do. Sancho and Varane have to start against Wolves on Sunday and play Donny van de Beek along with Matic. I thought those two really played well against Wolves last season towards the end of the season, but Van de Beek was actually the man of the match. So I think he should go with the same, two Van de Beek and Matic and start Varane as the centre back along with Maguire and give Sancho full 90 minutes. So if you do that, I don't see any reason that Man United shouldn't win the game. But if he sticks back to McTominay and Fred, then God help us, and it'll all be on luck. Depends on how good Pogba and Fernandes have the games, and maybe we can expect a goal from Mason Greenwood. Even he's in good form. So you can only keep your fingers crossed. I expect a 1-0 or 2-0 win for United, but I also expected a 1-0, 2-0 win against Southampton, which didn't happen. So we're unpredictable. On a day we can beat team 5-0 or 6-0. Another day we can draw points, which we shouldn't do that. So yeah, again, let's hope we sort our problems in the midfield and sign a player and uh, go into the international break with some kind of positivity. What do you think? What are your predictions on
Yeah,
the game against
yeah. So
Wolves?
the thing is that Wolves are one of those sides whom we have had difficulty beating. They do have a new coach in Bruno Lage this season. It'll be interesting to see how he plays. But from what I understand, like at least from the feel that I've got so far, he would also be playing. He's also from the Portuguese league, so he is going to. I mean, he knows the players. So these are all George Mendes' players. So they will
Yeah.
have that same defensive style. The setup is now going to be very different, and it just that is the only thing that we'll have to see that whether we can actually break them down. It will be the same old thing, and the fearful thing, the thing that I'm concerned about is that okay, Southampton we were away and we drew with them, but last season our home record was the one that let us down. So this is going to be a home match against a mid-table side whom we have had difficulty beating in the past. So that is my concern. I'll still go for a hopeful 1-0 win, but let's see. I mean, that's the only thing that we can hope for. Let's hope that United do better than that. All right. So yeah, that would be it for today. So that's it from mine for now, DV. Anything else you would like to add?
No, bro. I just hope we end up signing a midfielder, and it's a really good signing. I only want Ruben Neves. I don't want Sal. Camavinga, I would welcome. Brilliant talent, can do lots of things, can play in lots of position, a brilliant player. But practically speaking, Ruben Neves is the player we should go for, and I only hope something changes in the past 3 or 4 days. That's all from my end, guys. Do make sure to subscribe to our channel, bottom right hand corner, and do turn the notifications on to so whenever we release a video, you are aware of it.
Yeah, and be sure, I mean, do feel free to comment and let us know if you agree with us or disagree with us on anything or
Yeah.
anything else that you have from your end to add. So we are always looking forward to your comments as well. So we'll be seeing you next week as well, and if possible, even after the match at the weekend, we'll be getting AB back. So he would be there next week as well, and we'll be seeing all of you there. Goodbye, good night.
Bye, guys. Good night.